Hey, what's up? This is Austin Griffith, and I wanted to talk about an update I made to the bouncer proxy. After talking to Kevin from Gitcoin, not that Kevin, it's a contract Kevin, and Kames from Uport, there were a couple of issues we kind of covered and some things that I just wanted to jump on right away and update with the Meta TX demo, and here it is. First of all, I moved the logic out of the forward function, so that allows off-chain desktop miners to query the chain just to do a call to make sure, like check to see if things are valid before they put them on chain. And I also added this. What that is it's for like chronological meta transactions. So what Kevin said is at Gitcoin they're going to set up this sort of like these subscriptions, and it would be cool if we could create a bunch of meta transactions that were ready to go, signed, and sitting on some server, some distributed network off chain, and then as time progressed, maybe like once a month or something, they could just fire those transactions off, and that would allow the transactions to go through, but then people to not have to like get on at a certain time and hit it. And this sounds just like Ethereum alarm clock. Check it out. They're probably a lot better at this. I'm just making a demo to show Kevin how it would work. So basically, you just sign along with all the other stuff you're signing, your destination and all that other stuff, reward. You're also signing minimum block. So you're saying like it has to be at least this block or the transaction's not going to go through. And this also ends up maybe helping out Kames with another issue they were having. He said that when they push a bunch of transactions through, meta transactions through at Uport, they end up having some weird stuff with nonces, right? The nonce could you could get the wrong one in the wrong order, and by setting up the nonce with a second mapping for a uint, which could be a uint64 because it's a block, but I'll clean that up later. Basically, you almost have like a two-dimensional nonce, so you can kind of push a bunch of transactions through with like nonce channels. And what I mean by that is like, so say you need to send 10 transactions through at once. You would use, and the min block doesn't matter, right? So we're at, block 2 million or whatever, but you would use min block of 1 and then nonce whatever, min block of 2 and then nonce whatever, min block of 3 and then nonce whatever. And what that does is those aren't going to collide now, but they can't be replayed also. So you get like multiple transactions to go through at once in any order as long as all of those go. So there's kind of like this asynchronous way to push those meta transactions through without worrying about the nonces stepping on each other's toes. So let's get into it and see the demo now. So it's the normal thing. Some people have been getting on and deploying, which is awesome. It's on Rinkeby. I've redeployed the new contract, and the code's already all verified on Etherscan, so get on and check it out. I'm sure I've made some mistakes. It's what I do. So let's just wait for this transaction to go through, and we will start some meta transactions. I should have done this earlier while I was talking that whole time. I'm sorry. So we'll do the same thing. There we go. Our contract is ready. So same thing as the other demo. You shoot that QR code with your phone or whatever, and then it'll show up over here. So this window on the right sort of represents my Etherless phone device or whatever, or maybe in terms of Gitcoin, maybe a developer that has just onboarded that has a key pair that can sign but doesn't necessarily have any ETH. So what we need to do is they need to sign the contract. Once they sign the contract, it shows up over here. So this is the owner of the contract. He's going to go ahead and sign that guy's account and put it on chain. So now this user becomes a bouncer, which means he has permission to shove transactions through. So the next thing we're going to do is fund our contract. So I'm just going to grab the contract's address and ship some ETH to him. Let's see. Boom. We will go with 0.1 ETH. Actually, let's go. Oh, that's fine. Doesn't matter. It's Rinkaby money. Okay, so what we're going to do is populate. We're just going to charge up this identity contract a little bit, and it's just going to give us some ETH to play around with. So what we're going to do here is there's this new minimum block thing. Oh, one other thing I changed in the contract just to get better with the standards, and I think I'm getting some help in the repo just getting it straight to, like, it needs to be on ERC 1077. I didn't realize the original demo would get as much attention as it did, so I just kind of built it, and now it's like, well, it needs to match the standard. So we're working on getting it standardized. But one of those standardizations is if the reward token is 0, that means ETH. And I had it as 1 before. I said if it was 0, then it was nothing. If it was 1, then it was ETH. Now, if it's 0, it's ETH, but you can still do free transactions by setting the ETH reward amount to 0. So that's one other change. But let's go back over here. Let's set the reward to 0.0005, which is about the gas. It does incentivize the workers. It's going to be a little bit more of token 0, right? Because we're going to pay ETH, okay? And what we're going to do is we're going to set up some like cron jobs, basically. And what we're going to do is we're going to have, we're going to take the money that's in our proxy contract and slowly feed it back to the other one, just sort of representing transactions that take place at a certain time. Okay, so there's our miner in the background. So what we're going to do is we're going to send 0.001 ETH. Actually, let's just do 0.1 ETH, right? Because we've got the to this guy. Okay, so we're going to send it from our account back to our charged up our cold account, using our hot account that does not have any ether in it. So he's gonna sign up a meta transaction, ship it to the back end. Let's just get it going. So here's how the cron works. It's basically based on blocks. So I can say I want to send the first one just now, right? Okay, let's go ahead and send that. I think I have everything right. Let's find out. Okay, so I'm going to send the first one now. Okay, but now let's go 0.01 to this guy, and I'm going to go now plus 1 minute, and I'm going to send that one. Okay, and then I'll go 0.01 to that guy, and obviously this UI could be cleaned up, and I'm going to do 2 minutes, and I'm going to send. Okay, and a 0.01, and go now plus 1, 2, 3 minutes to this guy and send. Okay, so obviously this UI could be a lot better. We could set up even like a calendar or something. It kind of totally depends on how often these transactions need to happen and how much control you need. This UI is gross. The whole point of it is just to make things work for now and kind of show off how it works. So we can see over here that already this is starting to come through, and I added a new endpoint. So backend.metatx.io transactions, there we go. We can see a list of the transactions that still haven't gone through, and we can kind of just watch this. So over the next couple minutes, we're going to see those transactions go through, and we should actually see this miner. He should very, very slowly gain money. So he does have an incentive to put this stuff through. We're basically paying the gas plus a little bit tiny more. So he's incentivized to push these up for us, and the whole point is let's have a whole pool of those people pushing those up. So let's see, we're at 895. We're just kind of waiting for them to go through here. There went another one, so 0.79. So basically it's every few seconds the miner is going through all the transactions and doing that is valid signature and block and checking to see if the transaction's valid and ready to go, and if it is, it's shipping it off to the chain. So what we built is sort of just like a a buffer pool that holds all the transactions and waits for them to be ready and ships them off. And then we've added a new thing that gets signed that says don't go until this certain time. So that's how you do chronological. I don't know. That's how you do cron meta transactions. Awesome. Thank you.